Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you all about how to sell on Depop. What am I doing with my hands? I can just see them. I've recently made a pact to myself to stop buying so much fast fashion and only buy secondhand or from sustainable and independent companies. For the time being at least. I know it's a bit like shocking for me to say considering all of the hauls that I have made in the past like 6 months, but I'm trying. I just realised how bad the fast fashion industry is for like for the environment, their workers, and the fact that a lot of fast fashion brands rip off independent brands' designs. For example, the brand Dolly Mix Studios, they're most famous for their like all over dolly print joggers. You know Shein? Yes, Shein. They literally ripped off those, like that print, and put it on like, I don't even know what it was, like cargo pants. When I saw it I was like, Just a quick disclaimer, if my face gets red throughout this video then I'm sorry. I'm not wearing like any foundation, I'm literally just wearing concealer. Also disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by Depop. If they want to, hi, hit me up, I'm trying to save the planet over here. If you would like to work with me let me know. I also just want to say that the amount of followers that you have on Depop does not determine how well you're gonna like sell on there or how fast your items are gonna go. I'm gonna explain it all to you in this video, how to get the most out of Depop and how to sell stuff as fast as possible. So before we start this video, make sure you go ahead and give this big thumbs up and subscribe, and without further ado, let's save some money. Let's save some money and save the planet, girl. Or guy, you might be a guy watching this. So before you start selling on Depop, let's take a look at your profile. You're best off to have a profile picture. I know some people for some reason don't want to have a profile picture. Just even if it's just a random photo off Google, just do that. Like anything, just make sure that it stands out a little bit more that way. Your profile bio can be really important, so some of the things that you can look out for to like put in your bio would be where you ship. Is it UK only, USA, do you go international? Do your items come from a smoke or pet-free home, or both? How quickly you would usually ship, so can you do same-day delivery? Can you do next-day delivery? Are you open to offers or swaps? I'll be talking a little bit more about swaps later on, just if you do want to do a swap, talk a bit about that later. Do you want people to message you before buying your items? Most of the time people don't see this because they don't actually go onto your profile, they just like save your listing. So whenever I have had that message in my bio, it's just completely ignored. So to be honest, I wouldn't waste your time doing that, but if you want to put it there then. So I'm going to put a screenshot here of my bio on Depop. If you want to follow me and go check out my items, feel free. So I've got smoke and pet free, UK only, no refunds or returns, and I'm open to swaps and offers, and a link to my YouTube channel because I'm just a beg. So obviously the more that you sell on Depop and the more that you buy on Depop, the more ratings and reviews that you're gonna get. So this is obviously like helpful as well. I would probably buy something first just to get at least one 5-star review, just because I personally don't think I would ever buy off someone that doesn't have any reviews whatsoever. So now we're going to move on to your photos on Depop and the photos of your items. Now you don't need to have a fancy studio or a fancy setup to do this. You can literally, as long as your photos have good lighting and are the center of the photo, then you're pretty much good to go. Photos are really key as you only get 4 slots and a video slot, I think. I don't really use the video feature unless someone requests to see like a certain part of the item. So in terms of what part of your item you should be taking a photo of, I would definitely for sure recommend the front of it and the like label on the back of the item, just to make sure that it's obvious what size it is. If there's something worth seeing on the back, then make sure you show that as well. If you're selling like a hype beast item or like a designer item, then it would probably be worth showing some sort of like authenticity, whether that's a feature of the item itself or a receipt. Obviously don't leak your details, but you know. And finally, it would probably be worth putting a photo of the item on an actual person, whether that's you if you decide to model it yourself, or just take a photo off the website if that's accurate. then that's up to you. Items are more likely to be sold faster if a photo is shown of them being worn. Even if you just like use a photo of yourself when you wore it at a certain event or something. Or you can just take one in front of a white wall or hanging on your wardrobe if that's like easier for you. You can get creative with it if you want, make a nice background, a little setup in your room, but it's completely up to you how much effort you put into it. Okay, so as you can see with my listing here, with this dress I uploaded the photo of the front, the back, and a photo of me when I wore it. Then this next photo shows the size and a little defect at the front because that's where I put like a safety pin. That would obviously have an effect on the price that I'm selling it for, and it's just good to let the buyer know so they don't like end up with some random like fault with the item, which won't be that could be messy. Okay, so now we're going to talk about listing your actual item. This is really important. So I'm going to be running you through how I personally list my items and the things that I make sure I have on the description. So in the first line I type exactly what the item is, and like if I was to search for the item, what I would search for it. So this would include the colour, what type of item it is, and like say if it's a dress or something, is it a mini dress or a maxi dress? Then just below that line I would then put the retail price if I paid for the item from the actual retailer. But I would definitely put the retail price down, especially if you're selling the item for much less. So as I said before, it's worth noting any defects or faults that there are with the item. Also, if you have someone modelling the item, then it's worth putting down what size the model is. Does the item run big or does it run small or true to size? A rating out of 10 for the item's condition would be useful as well. That's something I do. Then just below that I put where I got the item from or what brand it is, and then underneath that I have a section for tags. So in the tag section you would want to put anything that someone could type in the search engine to then bring up your item. So it may be summer top, spaghetti strap top, oh poly dress, oh poly the style of dress, oh poly mini dress, oh poly going out, or you know. I think I figured out recently that the search engine on Depop doesn't work. Why am I saying search engine as if it's Google? It's not. I don't think it like goes off of individual words, and I think it just goes off of like phrases. So you're gonna want to put down stuff like in actual phrases and not just singular words. So as you can see from my listing here, the first line is rusty orange satin embellished mini dress. That is what the item is listed as on the Opoly website. And then underneath that I have how much I bought it for, and then a little section below that that says I've worn it once. It has 3 small holes from where I used the safety pin and in what photo, and has detachable straps, and you know, just anything else that's worth noting, then just put it down. Then I've got a 9 out of 10 condition rating just because of the buttons? The holes. And then I've got where I got it from, Opoly, and then a little section at the bottom with the tags. I've also got House of CB in the tags and Fashion Nova, just because those are like similar brands. So how are you going to price your item? There are a lot of things that you need to consider when pricing your items. Is it brand new with tags? Have you worn it once? Has it been worn a bunch of times? How much would you personally buy the item for in its current condition? Also take into account the popularity around your item. So is it a designer item that holds its value? Is it like a hype beast item? Is it like Supreme? Does it have a high resale value? Or is it just like something that's in your wardrobe, obviously, that's just like a regular kind of price? If you're not really sure what price to set your item at, then go on to Depop and search that exact item, and then just have a look at all of the items on there and see what they're listed as. While you're doing that, it would also be worth noting how many are actually selling on Depop. If yours would be like the first one being sold, then it would be pretty reasonable to sell it at a higher price. Obviously that would depend entirely on what your item is and like what state it's in, but you know. And before you post your listing, ask yourself, would you be ripping yourself off if you sold this item for X amount of money? So now we're going to talk about shipping costs. I know this can be quite confusing if you've not shipped something off before. On average, I would probably say to set your shipping cost to £3. This would be just like second class delivery. Personally, I would always ship second class unless the buyer asks otherwise. And if that's the case, then add, I don't know, an extra £1 for first class. Second class just does the job really. They try and get it done in 3 to 5 days, which is more than enough. And it will be saving you some coin, so Your shipping costs could be more or less depending on how you decide to ship and package your item. We'll get onto that in a second, just bear with. So what I used to do was include my shipping price in the actual listing itself. I wouldn't really do this because people are usually expecting some sort of shipping cost once they put the item into the basket anyway. So I've used second class shipping on all of my items throughout Depop unless my buyer has said, hey, can I have this like tomorrow, then put it second class. Otherwise, if you want a bit more security, then I guess you could do signed for postage or track delivery, but the more coin you can save, sweetie, the better. I need to sip. I've never spoken so much in my life. So, packaging your item. Fun stuff. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. You can use shipping bags, you can use boxes. The cheaper option would just be to use a shipping bag. I just use these. Simple. These are obviously cheaper because they're lighter, they're waterproof as well. You can buy these from Poundland, Wilko, similar stores. You can get like a bunch off Amazon, but I don't know what the price is like with them. The only place that I wouldn't recommend going to is WH Smith. Actual rip-off. They'll charge you like £10 for 6 A4 wallets. Ugh, that's kind of ugly. But yeah, the cheaper you can get your packaging for, the better. And it's up to you how extra you make the inside of your parcel. I used to wrap mine in like a colourful, like thin paper, and I used to handwrite a thank you note and put that in there. I don't really do that anymore, so whichever way suits you. The one thing that I would definitely stay away from is glitter. Just don't even like, especially that fine glitter. Oh my goodness, just don't even bother, like. So now I'm gonna talk about your seller etiquettes, if that's the way to say it. If you've never been on a platform like eBay or Depop, like we're talking about, then you might be a bit like, how do I speak to these people that are buying my stuff? Like, what do I say to them? What am I supposed to say? When am I supposed to update them? We'll talk about that now. So when someone buys your item, just message them saying, thanks for buying my item. I will ship it in X amount of days or on this day, just to let them know that you've not just ignored them and that you actually know that they've bought the item. So once you go to the post office and post your item, keep your proof of purchase. It's different from the receipt, they'll give you both anyway, but keep your proof and upload a photo of it to Depop and tag the buyer so that they know that the item has been shipped. Also, make sure you go onto Depop and actually say that it's shipped. Like, when you get a notification and it goes into your, like, it's just a different section where you have like the address and stuff. On there will be a section where you can mark your item as shipped. So after about a week, if the buyer hasn't updated you on anything and hasn't filled out your feedback, then what I would probably do is message them and ask, hey, has your parcel arrived yet? If they still say no, I would probably wait a couple more days. If it gets to a point where it really should have been there by now, then I would probably give them a refund depending on how much it cost. I personally have not had to do this. Royal Mail are pretty decent. So before I end this video, I'm going to talk about some extra tips and also about swapping if you do want to swap on Depop. So if it's been a couple of days or weeks and your item hasn't been sold yet, then what I would recommend doing is changing something in the description of the listing, even if that's just like an extra space somewhere. Once you post the listing, what it will do is like push it to the top of that like search bar basically. If your item isn't necessarily a like popular or trendy item, then I would probably just gradually reduce the price. If it gets to a point where it's actually ridiculous, like you would be ripping yourself off, then just keep it at a higher price. Or even ask to swap with someone if you're that desperate to get rid of it. So speaking about swaps, if you want to swap with £1 listings, like with both people. I will tell you why. Because I had a nightmare. Yeah, so basically what you want to do is make sure that yourself and the swapper have both agreed to do £1 listings. What this means is you'll both list the items that you're going to swap for £1, and then you're going to buy that listing for £1 and they're going to buy your listing for £1. This way you're protected by Depop and it'll prevent you from getting scammed. Sweetie, I used to swap without any sort of transaction through Depop. I just sent the swapper my address and they sent me their address, and oh my god, I can't believe I did this. I once sent a £35 pair of jeans to a girl, expecting for her to then send me a denim jacket with like a fleece on the inside, which was selling for like £35. So I sent my jeans. They were brand new, still in the packaging, and I didn't get anything back, and I just got blocked by the girl instead. I wasn't covered by Depop, I couldn't write a bad review about her, so if you're gonna do a swap, please just do yourself a favour and do £1 listings both ways. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helps and you're ready to start selling on Depop. Sweetie, get that coin. Let me tell you, girl. I encourage you so much, and I know it's rich coming from me, but I encourage you so much to stop buying so much from fast fashion brands and to buy secondhand and from sustainable companies and independent companies. You'll be doing better for the planet, and you might even you'll probably just save money. You'll probably save so much money. If you have any other questions about selling on Depop, then let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see a video about buying on Depop, I know it seems it's just like self-explanatory, but there are a couple things that you should probably look out for. More about buying on Depop, but then also let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, apart from that, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video.